Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Morning Brews. My name, of course, is Ryan Smeltz, and today we are talking about how to alter your habits. So, in case you missed Monday and Tuesday's episode, I am following along the path of an episode of the Ed Milet Show. I strongly encourage you to check that out. Super good information there. However, Monday we talked about, excuse me, good habits and bad habits, finding out which ones you have. And yesterday we talked about what are your cues. So today we're going to talk about how to alter your habits. So two bullet points for you this morning. Number one, change the cue. Number two, change the reward. So yesterday when we talked about what are your cues, we were talking about different things like stress at work combined with a sense of accomplishment may lead you to do something like take a break, go outside and smoke a cigarette. So maybe that habit is a bad habit, something that you want to change. So we've already determined what the cue is, and the reward is smoking that cigarette. So something that you could do to alter that habit would be to change the reward. So take a look at whatever your bad habits are. Not everybody smokes, I realize that. But something that I have found to be a challenge over the years is structuring my day, staying organized, creating a plan for my day or the week, and sticking to that plan. And so years ago, what I did as I learned not just how using a calendar can be advantageous, but also how to prioritize different things. For example, fast forward really quick to today. Yesterday, for example, I checked 12 things off of my list for the day. That wasn't everything. Not sure off the top of my head how many things I had on that list, but I did not get to finish all of them. So what I've learned over the years is that just because you have certain things that you want to get done or that need to get done, as long as you prioritize, you get done the things that are a priority. Maybe the ones that are not as much of a priority take a little bit more of a back burner, and then I'm still able to get that sense of accomplishment through using the checklist. And I found myself to be, ever since I started doing this, I found myself to be much more productive. So a bad habit that I had years ago was not sticking to a schedule, hitting the snooze button, waking up whenever I feel like, kind of just taking the day and taking life as it comes to me. And what I found over the years that I've been using a calendar and a checklist is I am more productive, and I have a tendency to be able to stay more on task as I plan out my day and I plan out my week. So I would say in that scenario, the cue for whatever the habit is going to be, the cue for whatever the reward is going to be, is me going through that checklist and getting things checked off. To me, the reward is actually just being able to look back at the end of the day, and at the bottom of the list, I can see how many things I checked off. I can see what the things are that I checked off, and that sense of accomplishment is essentially the reward for me. Knowing that I can look and see exactly how many things I did and what I did, as opposed to years ago, before I used the checklist, I just went through the day as things came at me. I kind of did them, and now staying more organized, I get that sense of accomplishment. It's much stronger. It makes me feel better about what I did and what I got done that day. So that's just one example, but I want you to take stock of the habits that you have. Any habits that you think are good, then make sure you sustain those. Going to the gym, eating healthy, waking up on time, not hitting the snooze button, and any habits that you think are bad, then learn and understand what the cues are that lead you into those habits. Learn and understand what the reward is, and learn how to change the reward so you can change the habit. I think a lot of things that would help in these scenarios are how we think about them. Basically, changing our mindset. We've heard this before, so pointing your mind in a more positive direction, pointing your mind towards that more positive reward, a more beneficial reward, and focusing on it. So, a couple of things you can try is, for example, if your reward for accomplishing that 90-minute task or being productive for 90 minutes at work is currently a cigarette, maybe you change it, just for example, to a piece of gum, then write that down. So right now, you're kind of at the mercy of your habit, because I'm sure most people who smoke do not write down on a sticky note, smoke a cigarette after 90 minutes of productivity. However, if you put things in front of you, it makes it easier to accomplish your goal. So if your goal is now to chew a piece of gum every 90 minutes after you've accomplished that task, if you write it down on a sticky note and put it on the side of your monitor, for example, or set an alarm or a reminder in your phone, then when that goes off, that's putting it in front of your face. It's probably helping to take your mind off of the cigarette, as well as setting you up for success. So really just remembering that it's, when it comes to the cue and the reward, it's what we do most of the time, not what we do once. So if in any instance you're altering one of your habits, focus on that reward. Make sure that you write it down, you put it on a sticky note, you get your accountability partners, whatever you need to do to alter that habit. Just remember that if one time on a Thursday you're having a rough day, you forgot to write it on a sticky note, you forgot to turn your alarm back on, and so you hit the 90 minutes of productivity, you feel good, and you run outside and smoke a cigarette, it's not going to be the end of the world. If most of that week you chew gum in place of the cigarette, and one time or two times during that week you smoke a cigarette, just realize it's progress over perfection. So working really hard to hit that 21 days in a row of altering the habit of doing something different. Once you hit that, then it gets much easier to be able to follow that and stick to your new habit. So once again, please take a look at what your cues are. Learn how to change those rewards. Pick different rewards, more beneficial rewards, and you will start to see better habits come out of those practices. So once again, I hope this has been of value to you. I strongly encourage you to listen to the Ed Milet Show. Check out that episode. There's plenty of different episodes. He has excellent conversations with some top performers on there, and I find it beneficial, as I find many of the different mindset and success podcasts I listen to beneficial. So I encourage you to check that one out. I hope this is of value to you. I hope you find this beneficial, and if you do, leave us a 5-star review. Tell your friends to subscribe. Make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. My name is Ryan Smeltz. This is Morning Brews, and I will see you on tomorrow's